William Ruto has sensed defeat. For the first time, William Ruto, the great hustler nation leader, the man who believed he would win the election, the man who believes that the presidency is a heartbeat away from him, has for the first time sensed defeat. He now even believed in deep state. Remember, he had said there's nothing like the deep state. He believed that his hustlers, the mama mboga na watu wa boda boda, were what he needed to become the presidency. And now we are seeing a different William Ruto. He has even taken his battle with Uhuru Kenyatta to the international stage. We saw him at Loyola University, where he made several allegations, saying that he believed now that there is a deep state that has a predetermined winner of the election that is coming up in August. He even said that the campaign machinery is being manipulated to favor the alleged favorite of the state. Yet this is a guy the other day who said that he had all the resources he needed. He had the people, that the main resources that he need. And now he believes the elections will be rigged. Well, this could be true or not, but this is a narrative that the UDA team has begun when they have realized that their numbers are being reduced, especially in the Mount Kenya region, that the Azimio la Umoja campaign is gaining momentum and theirs is tapering out, and they don't have any other narrative to tell the people, especially their Mama Mboga and UDA, whom they sold their hustler narrative, the wheelbarrows, which they cannot sell anymore. So their next narrative is that the election will be rigged. And this is easy to sell because the people will feel that the system is against them, that the system has always been against them, that Uhuru Kenyatta has reneged on his agreement with William Ruto of supporting him for the presidency. Kumbuka William Ruto anakuwa akisema, Uhuru alisema 10 yangu na yako 10. Kila mtu alisikia Uhuru Kenyatta akisema hivyo. Lakini Uhuru Kenyatta alibadilika tena akasema, hata kama tulikuwa tuna hayo makubaliano, pia mimi nimegeuka, pia mimi nimeenda kuunga mkono mtu mwingine. And this is now the dilemma that William Ruto faces. He has to convince his base that he will win the election. If his core base, the Mama Mboga and watu wa boda boda, realizes that he might not win, they should shift their allegiance to other leaders, especially Azimio la Umoja. And Ruto has to maintain this momentum, and he has to come up with new strategies. And now one of the strategies is going to the international community and convincing them that we have an election coming up in August in Kenya, and the state is using its resources to rig me out. And you know, the international community is very sympathetic to so-called opposition leaders. Don't forget that William Ruto is not even an opposition leader. He is the deputy president, but pretending to.
And this is the reason why some of us were said to be against the handshake. You know, the handshake took away the oversight role of the opposition. In Kenya today, we do not have an opposition. There is a mongrel of an organization. Nobody knows what the hell it is. People don't know whether we have the opposition in government or the government in the opposition. It's quite a maybe scientists, maybe policymakers in this great institution in Carnegie would do research on what is going on in Kenya. Because for all intents and purposes, the opposition is running government and government is running the opposition, which is quite a situation.
The DP has even called the international community to come and maybe even supervise the election so that he's not rigged out. He has even claimed that his main agenda for the people is to fight the economic cartels that have been stealing everything from the poor masses and continuing to enrich themselves. And now they want to have one of their own, a project in power. Don't forget that William Ruto is a beneficiary of the same elites. He has been in government since YK 92. He has been an assistant minister, a minister, and now a DP. Again, he's a wealthy person. So he cannot put himself in a position of the poor Kenyans that he wants to support. He is through and through a dynasty himself. And so the only reason that William Ruto is trying to be concerned about is he's winning the election. He feels that despite the large crowds he has been having, despite touring all the villages, all the nooks and crannies, all the vitongojis, all the hamlets he has been going to, that is not enough during the election. He has now started to appreciate Raila Odinga's strategy. Raila Odinga, for the longest time, has always had the biggest crowd. And Raila Odinga of today believes that crowds will not win you the election. That's why we see a different Raila Odinga, a man who is measured, a man who is reasonable, a man who spends most of his time in boardrooms, talking to leaders, talking to businessmen, talking to different interested groups, bringing them together because he has believed he has to take the campaign from the street to the boardroom. But Ruto began from the streets. Now he's coming back to the boardroom and seeking sympathy from the international community. Well, it's something we have to wait and see if it will help him or work in his favor. For the time being, his campaign is going down and Raila's campaign is going up. And he has to do something to salvage his tapering out campaign. Otherwise, he will not become president. And yet, being a DP, just one step away from becoming president, is the closest thing to becoming president. Forget Raila Odinga, though with support of the president, he's still the opposition leader. So, he has to do something. That is all.